Shalom, shalom, Yashalom, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is, before we start the lesson, we want to bless the name of our power and give all praise, honor, and glory to the name of our power. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, call for liar, Yahweh, 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 Bahashim, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Bahashim, Barakatah. In the ancient Hebrew tongue, you got to correct me for the Heavenly Father, for the Divine Son, and the Holy Spirit, or on the double honor for the apostles, the elders, and the millstone for the new world, teach world. Much respect, we should say Akim while laying the works, and Shalom to you believers, to the Akim while Aqua, which will be your brothers and sisters who subscribe to this truth. All right, there's your brothers, the Warriors be Howard Shine H-Town, and your brother Malkia. Got a brother at a Newman with me, all right, pushing the gospel, the good news of the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua Mashiach, in the fall of Babylon, aka Murder. Right? The Lord wants us to be edifying and straight to the point. So not too long ago, the lesson we're doing, the Spirit came on to us to do a spiritual review lesson on this film called The Blackout. All right. And for the brothers who are in this truth, right? Feel free to watch it. It's called The Blackout. It's very spiritual, very, very spiritual. It pretty much gives like a small little glimpse of what the JT is going to look like. It's going to look like when the power shuts off, when the lights are off, and with a famine, a lack of goods, right? It gives you an insight, a look of what things are going to look like in the real world, right? And we see some things through the Spirit. While watching the film, the priest that we kept coming up, and say, "Hey, we got to pause it. Get this preacher, get this preacher." So, Lord willing, we present this lesson to where it's very edifying. We're going to play some parts of the film, pause it, start some precepts that's related to it, all right? So this is the trailer first. By the way, I should have said it in the beginning. Should have said it in the beginning before playing about the trailer, even with the audio behind it. We want to say we're meeting our own copyright for this lesson, for the video. All right, this is for edification purposes. If you haven't watched this film yet, I suggest you watch it. We watched it for free on YouTube, so feel free to watch it and let us know. Into the blackness. Yes, and see something like that, man. Woo! That's pretty good. Listen, go to Boom. Now you can music song. So you gotta hear that from the first time. How does it you go down real quick and rock, you rock. It's just say click on shift stop, okay? And then now go to the tab, the second one, and then remember we want to get the beginning. Remember we pointed out the very beginning how yeah. Mind you, this when I say this movie is spiritual, it's spiritual. Okay. Hold on. Okay, right back. Very beginning. All right. Let's see. Can they hear it? Oh yeah, they can hear it because the volume's off on here. Just mute. But but they have the caption too from I see, so they can just read it. So you know what? Salakia. If that's the case, let's jam out for a little bit. Put the tone in the back. Put a little tone in the back. Okay? Put a little tone in the back. Hey, shalom. Y'all watching the shop right. I keep forgetting. Yeah, when we go live on both, I have to unmute this so you can't hear the echo. Oh yeah, that shit is fucking loud as fuck. Alright. Mind you, you're not gonna be able to hear like the audio of the film. Oh shit, we already did. We paused it here and there, but I had no audio. So hopefully, by having music playing in the background, it doesn't fuck with us. Lower wood. Again, we don't own copyright, YouTube, you fucking cunt, okay? Alright? We're just doing it for edification purpose. Edification. For edification purpose, alright? And look at some experience. Then there was what? Blackout, darkness. Then we pause it, and then we're gonna go to the part of that conversation that was so spiritual. They was trying to decide a name for the son. Let's see. It was spiritual. We gotta get it. Yeah. A little more back. All right there. Look at the dialogue, like the conversation on the screen. Come on. Okay, it should be coming up there anytime soon. We gotta get it. We want to bring up this soul. Come on. Really? Yeah. I wish look like we're pretty much here. Pay attention to the conversation. We have to read it. It's coming up soon. Coming up. Right now, they're having a conversation on what to name their unborn son. Right here, it comes right in. So it's so spiritual. It's gonna hit you like, oh shit. Yeah, with this. Everything else is already organized and we want to get it. This part we forgot to get it. Sam. Okay, other than they'll say Samuel. See, wait, you see that? It said that's biblical. See, here it says that's a little biblical. So they were thinking about naming their son Sam or Samuel, but of course, I'm gonna guess an Edomite said that's biblical, right? But check this out. Check this out. Wait, check out this king from the huh? Oh, I thought my dad's name. So okay, you probably didn't catch it. So they were thinking to come up with names and said, "Oh, what about Sam or Samuel?" And they said, "Well, that's a little biblical. His father's name is Jacob." So when his wife was apparently his wife is a Puerto Rican, and she mentions it. Yeah. So so let's say she's a daughter of Zion, already breaking the law, messing with a fucking another nation, especially on top, not just any nation, but a fucking Edomite. So technically, the seed that's in her is a fucking Edomite. Okay, but anywho, that's like a whole other topic. But his father's name is Jacob. So when she mentioned that, you just hit his reaction. It was like, he was like, I don't know. Like it was spiritual. Like, and when his father is Jacob, he was like, yo, our forefathers, one of them is Jacob. All right. Listen about it. Yeah. So let's go to the where you want to start off at the 10 minute mark. Yeah. Wait. Looks like my guy. All right. We'll get 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Oh yeah, with the fountain still. All right. So we notice the street lights are off right now. Right. It is off. The signal is off. Okay, to the fountain. See, it's not running. All right, it's not running. We'll catch that again. See, so the power is out, right? The water system is not running. All right, so we're gonna let the scripture read for itself. Yeah.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 24. At the time shall friends fight against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still.
Or read that part again.
Okay. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
So this is just the beginning of a blackout at where they dwell at. Now they're experiencing power outages, but now the water system, the spring is not running. All right, for a certain period of time. All right, you got another version? You get it.
It's 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 24 in the CEB version. In that time, friends will make war on friends like enemies. The earth alone, with those who live on it, will be terrified, and the sources of rivers will stand still, so that they don't run for 3 hours.
We already see it. So we read a scripture and we gave you visual, so you get something you can visualize. Okay, all right. It's going to happen in the real world. One day you're going to try to turn on your fountain. You try to flush the toilet. You're going to try to take a shower. You're going to try to get some water, but the water system is not going to be running. All right, it's going to catch you off guard. It's going to be suddenly. Okay. You can get the part where she tells us sweet things, Isaiah 30:10, and we'll let it play. Let's get that ready. So I'm gonna get what they mentioned about A and P. And we're gonna go to. All right. So there's a blackout going on, and the people in the city, as you know, they're in that gross darkness, don't know what the fuck is going on, and they're blaming shit. You know, they're accusing a solar flare, right? They're blaming a EMP, right? So for edification purposes, we're going to go into what is an EMP. All right, and go into that. What is an EMP? Right. All right. So you see right here, right? It says an EMP is a electromagnetic pulse. A EMP, right? A electromagnetic pulse. Also, a transient electromagnetic disturbance is a brief burst of electromagnetic energy, depending upon the source. The origin of an EMP can be natural or artificial, and can occur as an electromagnetic field, as an electric field, as an electric, a magnetic, like as a magnetic field, or as a conducted electric current. All right. Let's see. We got some images I want to look at, and then we're gonna go back to the video. So you get some visuals of it. All right. You're gonna actually, yeah. But we're gonna pull this one up so you can have a slight understanding, something you can visualize on. All right. So you probably can see it there. You see how there's a city below. Right, you have the city where life happens at. Then you have the sky, the atmosphere, and then right above it, all the way up in the heavens, right? So even further be up the airplane, when the airplanes be up very high. You got the signals, right? And then all the way up, you got that boom. That's where the EMP will explode at, causing a disturbance to like satellites, right? Devices that send out signals, radio frequency.
They're all going to be erupting. Everything's just going to basically like not work simultaneously within that time that happens.
All right. So we're going to go back to the video. Let it play. All right.
Where I can go.
So a lot of people are in fear. They're in fear. They don't know what the hell to do. Right? They're seeking for answers. Right? So, for example, right? Look at the sheriff as a false prophet. Right? Look at the sheriff as a false prophet, a bug out. Right?
Not a false prophet.
Yeah, that is it. This is no man. Here's a part on top of that too. One of the same messengers we said, that's Satan, the guy that comes up, that's one of his messengers, right? Or just a false prophet and a follower of a false prophet. So, bullshit. Him right here, right? And the old boys want to stand up. Veteran, a combat medic, he's going to keep it real with them. All right, he ain't going to sugarcoat shit. That's the one you got for year 32.
Yeah, 32. I got 2 different.
I'm sorry. All right, let's go into this one. All right. So they're all asking like, who's going to help us? The National Guard, the community, the government, blah, blah, right? Him right here, the guy with the black say, you people are asking the wrong question. You have no idea what's coming. what are you going to do when they leave the cities and come pouring over it? And you can look at that as like as a servant of prophet Yahweh Shai, a hopeful elect member, warning our people. All right, he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's telling you the way it is. All right, we're about to get it in Isaiah 30. You get it.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to prophesy not. Unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, and prophesy deceit.
So in that conversation they were having, the servant was telling the combat medic, you are scaring the people. All right. And what do people call us? They call us fear mongers. All right. They call us fear mongers because what we preach, it brings fear to people. All right. But we're not going to lie. We're going to tell you the way it is. We're going to tell you the sweet and the bitter part of the Bible. All right. You got it.
This is the Good News Bible version. They tell the prophets to keep quiet. They say, don't talk to us about what's right. Tell us what we want to hear. Let us keep our illusions.
Which one is the one where it says don't talk about our illusions?
Yeah, I got the CEV version.
Yeah, you got to get that one.
And have said to his messengers and prophets, don't tell us what Yahweh Shai has shown you, and don't preach the truth.
You got that. You got to read it again. You got to read it again. You got to bring it out.
And have said to his messengers and prophets, don't tell us what Yahweh Shai has shown you, and don't preach the truth. Just say what we want to hear, even if it is false.
See? And those people in this film, they're in the same spirit. They're pretty much, making that scripture pretty much, come to life. While the combat veteran is telling them the truth, like, hey, y'all don't have a damn clue what's coming, right? And he's about to explain he's about to get into it, right? In the real world, that's what the prophets are doing. They're warning the people, right? Pretty much putting fear into our people because, it's about to be a time of hell, a time of trouble. It's gonna be blackout, right? People will be, doing all kinds of crazy shit, right? And while we're teaching, while we're prophesying, we get scoffed at. We get told that we're fear mongers. We need to calm down, or just preach certain things, right? No, we're going to tell you the way it is, all right? All right. It said this is a reality we all have to face, and that's what everyone in the real world have to face. Prophecy. They have to face that. Everything that the elders, the apostles, our big brothers, teach mess in the like-minded camp that teach the same doctrine, right? The world is still not coming into realization that we all have to face the same thing. We all have to face the fact that, Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai is about to visit this place with pure anger, wrath, all right, destruction, all right? Oh, and if you haven't noticed, in that great van is the family. You have the head, right? The head of the family, which is the husband, the mother, and the daughter, all right? And it says they'll leave the city and their homes and come to ours. And that's going to happen in the real world. While their cities are experiencing lack of goods, they're going to try to go to other cities that's known to have goods, right? That may not be experiencing a severe famine compared to this city, and they're going to go over there and try to take what they have. But we're going to have that city against city, right? Nation against nation, city against city, right? Civil war, edition against editions, right? Say, guys, I'm so sorry to bother you. That's a crazy guy. Say, guys, I'm so sorry to bother you. You wouldn't give me a hand with this. You wouldn't give me a hand with my car, would you? They will come soon and look at everything we've got. everything what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. And of course, we're in a time where people can't endorse sound doctrine, so it's not going to make sense to them when we prophesy JT, the Kharagma, cannibalism, men who have wives, your wives will be ravaged, your little children are going to be dashed into pieces, newly created creatures are going to be roaming around as appeasing the wrath of him that created them, right? The Leviathan, all right, strange apparition, all right, a famine, and the list goes on, right? When we talk about this, it doesn't make sense to me, all right? And see how he's going against it, and we're experiencing that today. Whenever we prophesy, whenever we teach, we're always going to have these bug outs, those who claim to be a prophet, always going against what we're saying. We give them the warning, but they're going to tell our people no. All right, there's nothing wrong. Nothing's going to happen. Everything will be okay. Bygones, bygones. Nothing good. Right. So the head, right, the father, just stepped out the vehicle to go help out this fucking crazy guy. All right, now I'm gonna get this scripture real quick and never trust thy enemy. Get that real quick before it plays. Never trust thy enemy. All right. All right. I find the time of Jacob's trouble. Don't be on that friendly spirit. You see someone that need help fixing a tire, hey, keep it fucking moving, right? Someone's car broke down, keep it fucking moving. I say when it happens, take a look outside. Can you feel it? All right, it's already begun, mind you. What has already begun? We're literally in the beginnings of sorrow. If you read the book of Matthew, right? Hearing wars and rumors of wars, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. There shall be famine, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places, right? And the list goes on. All right. Nah, you gotta be in the book of Eli's spirit. You see a bitch catching hell, you're looking forward. Yeah, fuck it. All right. Ooh, got him. See, he went to go help this guy out, thinking that he was sincere. And what happened to him? Now he's dead, or he probably unconscious at the moment. Hit him, and now the mother's headless, and the daughter doesn't have a protector. Now they're vulnerable out there. All right. So I'm gonna get this real quick. In the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right. So keyword: never trust your damn enemies. All right. Because when you do trust your enemy, you're gonna get clumped in the head with a fucking hammer. All right. All right. And then you can get the one. You can get the one where it says the division between families. That goes into what I had somewhere. The father divide. Okay, the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 53. All right. So we'll let this play for a little bit. All right. If he was able to hear the audio, he smacked over his head. And yeah, he's through. He's done. All right. So now the mother is headless. The daughter and the mother doesn't have a protector. All right, so just now we just experienced trust the enemy. All right, and then two, there's going to be that division, that separation, between families. All right, so you can get it when you're ready.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
All right, so that goes into there's going to be families split, and we just saw here just now. The father is no longer in the picture. He was split from the family. He's through. Now the family are fucked. All right, they're headless. They don't have protection. And what we just witnessed here too, when you get that in the Bible hub. All right, we're reading the King James version first. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." In the New Living Translation, sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. Okay? All right? And what you saw there is a blackout. And what do they be saying? The freeze comes out at night. All right? You're going to have some wicked motherfuckers truly be activated when the lights are out. And they're going to be, they're going to be doing what the flesh really desires to do. And what does the flesh desire to do? Wicked shit. All right. Ooh, this is the perfect one too for that scene. You can get that one. You can read out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they down or drawn sword.
So that guy who clunked old boy in the head with the hammer, right? He spoke like soft, as he spoke like soft. He pretended like he was friendly, like he was sincere. He needed help, right? His words were smoother than oil. His words were softer than butter, right? But what was in his mind? War, kill, I'm gonna take whatever he got from him, right? And he clunked his ass in the head with the hammer, all right? So you mind if I thought? All right, we're gonna move on to the next week, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think there's a sticker on it here. Really good. The next one is 39. Oh yeah. We got scenes where they start to fight each other and shit now. Nothing. Yeah. Right now. Let's see. When they start to notice that it wasn't that much goods, and now people gonna start acting up. Let's see. This one. So you can actually go back to Second 6 and 24, but you're gonna start seeing them here. That was the same scripture was the waters were still, but now you're gonna start seeing people fighting against one another. All right. And then when you get that, yep. When you get that, matter of fact, you start at 16. Yeah, you start at 16. Yeah, because 16 also be different. And remember how they fucking popped them? They just shut the show. Actually, go into an argument. He came into the hospital and that. Okay, all right. So you about to see people about to start fighting. That all it takes is that a moment like this, one commotion, and boom, that's it. It can be a ricochet to more. Got him. See? It's a little more. He was like a shot. Oh boy, that shot was front. Remember in the background? Yeah. In the background? With the red? Yes. Yo, it's about to get crazy out here. We laughing, but yo, it's man, it's about to get crazy out here. All right, so if you want, you can get that second energy chapter 15. 15. Which one do you have? Yeah, you can get that one.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
So we saw that early in the clip where the signal light was off. The guy was trying to mess with his refrigerator light. The light was off, like the power was off. And then the guy was trying to turn on the kitchen sink. The water was running, right? And now here, what we just saw here, you're seeing friends fight against people, right? People from the towns, neighbors going up in the business, fighting against one another for the lack of bread, right? We saw what? That's sedition, right? Let me get that right now. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 16 in the LSV version. For there will be sedition among men, and waxing strong one against another. They will not regard their king, nor the chief of their great ones and their might. In the King James Version, it goes into they shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. They shall take their course into their own actions. Just paraphrasing, and that's what we just saw here. All right, you see people taking a course into their own action. All right, they're not obeying the law. Right, the sheriff that just got popped. You can look at him as a prince. Right, he's a prince because he has power. Right, and he got shot up. They didn't regard him. You got people. Got a sedition among people, right? They invaded one another, right? They're taking the course into their own hands. Which one? You can get that
one. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
So be sober, right? You want to be alert. That also goes into like being alert. You want to be alert. You want to be on point. You want to be on the cues. You want to be circumspect. You want to be very aware of your surroundings. All right, the people that surround you, even nature, because nature can give you signs, right? Of like danger, animals, right? Their behavior, like fowls of the air can fly a certain way, a certain direction. In fact, that can give you signs. To be sober, be circumspect, right? And also be sober spiritually, because if you're picking up other philosophies, you're gonna be drunk spiritually, all right? And you're gonna be out here just stumbling everywhere, not knowing what to how to maneuver out here, and be sober physically, right? Ain't nothing wrong with having some yang here, man. You can have your baby yang here and there, right? Just don't be drunk all day, every fucking day. Every day, most of the day, you just drunk. All right. You want to be alert. You want to be on point. All right. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, the deceiver, the so-called white man, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour. And Esau is going more into that spirit as time is going. Right? Yeah. I think it's about it. And of course, Jake is going to follow, the enemy, right? Or it could be a tear, but I'm just using it as an example, right? He's gonna fall. He's gonna be down with with these crazy people, right? The 2/3 pretty much are going to be in that spirit, linking up with other Edomites, other nations, right? Starting off these little cliques, little groups like this. Yep. And I guess about it. All right. The next one, we're gonna move on. 39, 47. Yeah, 47. Oh yeah, with the part of the scenes where those couples, right? The two young bucks, they walk into the gas station and look at was like wasted, excellent, right? Yeah. It's in 47. This good. All right, right. All right. Pay attention to the surroundings. If they're steady. You got a car that's smoking. Shit got lit up. Someone popped it a few times. See, gunshot on the driver's door, and then by the frame right there. Hmm. Uh, this is like what's that? You get that. Mhm. The book of Ezekiel chapter 12, verses. You gotta check that. All right, so as you see, right, they walk into the city and it's like damn near nobody around. Right? There's nobody around. It's messy. It looks like you got ran through by chaos. Let's see. Oh, it's still 7:20. 12 to 20. Now you can do it. All right. So you saw there, right? You don't let the scripture speak for itself.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 20. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh.
Oh, yeah, I think it's 20 where I think it also goes into how it's going to look like. Desert, something like that. I'm getting right now to a Bible Hub. Let's see, in that same one, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 20, all right? I'm going to get the New Living Translation. You can get the other one working on it. The cities will be destroyed and the farmland made desolate. Then you will know that I am the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh. And it says here, the cities will be destroyed. And that's what that little city, that town looks like. It was destroyed. It was ran through by chaos. You got it.
This is the contemporary English version. Every town will lie in ruins, and the land will be a barren desert.
Well, for those who don't know what a barren desert looks like, I'm giving you an example. Barren desert. Pretty much it looks desolate, completely empty. Right? So that just give you like a metaphor description of how waste the cities are going to look like. Right?
Then they will know that I am the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh.
You can go to the mention will be 49:10.
That's the English.
That's weird, interesting. When you get to the good part, the shit start hanging up even more. Let's see. Oh yeah. When they walk into the enemy's camp, yep. Yep. So I can go with us. I ain't no time to climb for them quick. Shit, already fucking 44 minutes in. It doesn't feel like it. All right, so long story short, those two young couples you saw that walked into that gas station area, they ended up at these crazy people camps, right? Yeah, and she was separated from her so-called man, right? And look at him, right? He's in fear. Just look at his face. Fear, right? Fear. We gotta get that scripture. Let's say men shall be afraid. Luke 21:26. Yep. Luke. That's how a lot of you so-called tough niggas out here, and you so-called men, so-called alpha males, right? You bodybuilders, you so-called Lone Rangers. You gonna be looking like him. Your spirit is gonna be looking like him. Right? If you got it, you got it. 21 to 26. Chapter 21, verse 26. And let me get a different video for you. Yep. You can read them very about 21.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 26. Man's heart failing them for fear, for looking after those things which are coming on earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
Right, in the same scripture, I'm going to get it in the BSB, the Berean Study Bible. Men will faint from fear and anxiety over what is coming upon the earth. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And look at his look at his face. Nothing but this fear, anxiety. Why? Because of what's taking place on earth and seeing his woman being taken from him. All right. Then since we mentioned that, right, might as well get that out. The have been ravaged. Okay, Isaiah 13 to 16. All right. So while men start catching hell, there is so much fear, so much anxiety, right? They're no longer in the spirit of being a so-called alpha male, right? And they happen to have a woman with them, and a woman look up to them, being like, "Oh, he's my hero. He's my warrior, my Superman, right?" He gonna break. That nigga gonna fold. All right, he gonna fold on you, and then don't be surprised if something like this happen next. Isaiah 13 and 16, it says, "Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." You got another version for it?
For this one?
Oh, it's like I thought you had this. And then the NLT version, "Their little children will be dashed to death before their eyes. Their homes will be sacked, and their wives will be raped." So while you worldly men gonna buckle, you're gonna fold, you look like him, your woman's gonna be taken from you, you're gonna get raw dog right in front of you, right? Or they're gonna take us over, but either way, they're gonna raw dog her, right? You're gonna be in that spirit of you're gonna faint, all right, from fear and anxiety. You got the other word, you wanna get that?
I got you.
You can get it.
This is the contemporary English version of Luke chapter 21, verse 26. People will be so frightened that they will faint because of what is happening to the world. Every power in the skies will be shaken.
So when all hell break loose, you get trouble. It becomes darkness out here. The clouds are dark. You won't go see your sun. You got all kinds of strange acts happening, right? People are going to be so afraid, men, women, and children. All right. Some of them are going to literally die from heart attacks of what they see. Mm-hmm. They're going to die before they actually die. If that makes sense. All right. And we're going to go to that part where they invaded his home. Definitely going to get that out. The second edges. Which says, second edges, chapter 15, verse 19.
Chapter 15?
13, yeah, verse 19. Right. Want to get that scene where they invaded. That's like that scripture goes perfect with that scene. You're not too far in. Oh, no, this is it right here. Yeah. All right, this is it right here. All right, I just want to scratch just a little bit more. It's pretty much straight to the point of it all. All right, I think while it's playing, he's gonna work on the other verses for it. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. It goes perfect with this thing. So we're about to see right now. I mean, we'll close out soon. See? Do another spot. And then I'm gonna get something else. Their body shall be like shit in the streets. Funny. I'm clear when you're ready.
Oh. All right, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, the spoils their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
So that's what you're seeing in the states right now. There's a famine going on, right? They're experiencing shortages, right, of food, goods, right? So, and the power went out, so they're acting the way they are because there's no power, there's no law at the moment. There's lack of goods. For great tribulation, they're suffering, right?
This is the CEB version, the Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. People have no mercy on their neighbors. They will cause their neighbors trouble by breaking into their houses with swords, to pillage their property because they are hungry for bread and in great distress.
See, I don't even have to break it down. It's like clear for itself. That's what you see in this film. We'll go to the part where the fight is over, all the bodies are just out there. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to get to the actual scene where the chick was walking through it and they were all fucking dead. Yeah, right away. Oh, man, I didn't even think on the fucking square. Bear with me. Trying to get that scene for after that the fight was over and the lights came back on, everything went back to like so-called normal, right? Yep. This is like stupid. We're already at the hour mark, so we'll just talk about the next minute. Right. It's nice one. So go back to the all right. So right after that fight. Right after the shootout, the main character, Martin, he choked the main villain until choked him to fucking death. The army medic, he got shot. He got shot. His girl, the army, Martin's wife survived. She was in the attic with the strap. But yeah, the girl that they use as bait, right? She was walking through that whole season. They were all just dead. All of them was like one survivor.
Her man too. He was shot.
And even her so-called man died. All right, so, you might as well get that. We say the wife shall mourn for her husband's
Luke.
Yeah, get that. All right. So her husband, her boyfriend died, right? And let's say the bad guys of the film, right? So I'm gonna get Jeremiah 16:4, King James Version. It says, "They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung, shit, upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine." And those bodies that died, they were consumed by the sword. The modern day sword is firearm. All the virgins shall mourn. Yeah, that's your second image. Chapter 16. Remember, you had chapter 32 and chapter 44.
Oh,
That's stupid, but the book is chapter 33 to 34.
So,
Second Edges, chapter 16. 32, 34. Yep. All right. So again, right in the King James Version for Jeremiah 16:4, they will die from Salakia. They shall die from grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword. You saw that in the scene. And by famine, and many people are going to die from starvation in the real world. And many people are going to be consumed by the sword, modern sword weapons in the real world, right? And their carcasses shall be meat, all right? Their dead bodies, right, shall be meat, shall be food for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth, all right? And I'm gonna get that in the NIV. They will die of deadly diseases. So your natural is going to die from deadly diseases, right? That's what pestilence comes into play, right? They will not be mourned or buried, but will be like dung lying on the ground. They will perish by the sword and famine, and their dead bodies will become food for the birds and for wild animals. So we saw that in the film, part of it in the scripture, right? Old girl walking through the field, they're all dead. They just lay around like shit. Even her so-called boyfriend was dead, right? And a lot of women that has a man right now, or that may have a man but of this world, right when Jacob's trouble pop off to his fullest, their so-called men, their head is going to be put to death too, and they're going to be out there hellish, all right, and they're going to be mourning, they're going to be suffering. You got
this is Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 33 and 34. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegroom. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegroom be destroyed, and their husband shall perish with famine.
All right, so a lot of women are going to experience their heads being put to death in whatever shape, way, form that our power, the outside predestined for it. They're going to be hellish, they're going to be mourning because they don't have a husband, they're a protector. Virgins, like actual virgins, are going to be mourning because they don't have to help me. They're pretty much going to be mocked as being old maids, not very received, right? All right. You want to bring the lesson out because man, it's spiritual. If the Akim have not seen it yet, I suggest you watch it. All right, it's very, very spiritual. All right. So, Lord, the lesson was edifying. All right. So, while the Akim for tuning in, throwing up quick little preset to tune in. All right, we're going to close out by blessing names by power and giving all praise God and glory to names by power. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Call Aliyah, La Banawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Barakat double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where we will teach you. Much due respect to their Akim who are living the word, to Shalom to the believers. To the Akim wa Akim, brothers and sisters, BTA, Abba, soon, Kwam Yasharala. All right, watch the tune in, Akim, Yahweh Bashim, Shalom.